My name is Peter Davis. Welcome to the exciting world of microwave cooking, and congratulations on your choice of selecting this Panasonic 6850 microwave oven. I'll be showing you just how versatile your new oven is. From reheating a cold mug of coffee to creating a succulent mouth-watering roast that I'm sure will impress your family and friends. And you'll be pleased to know that microwave cooking isn't that different to conventional cooking, as your new cookbook illustrates. I'll be demonstrating the features of your new oven, showing you suitable utensils to use, giving hints and tips, and sharing some of my favourite recipes with you. Your 800-watt 6850 microwave oven is easy to operate, gives you full control over your cooking, and the electronic controls are user-friendly, as you'll soon discover. When you first plug in and switch on your microwave, this is what you'll see in the display window. You must first set the clock before attempting to use the other features, remembering that this is a 12-hour clock. To set the clock, press Auto Start Clock on the control panel. The colon in the display window will now start flashing. Set the time of day by using the minute and second pads as follows. If the time of day is 12:35 p.m, press the 10-minute pad once, the 1-minute pad twice, the 10-second pad 3 times, and the 1-second pad 5 times. If you then press the auto start clock again, the colon will stop flashing and the time of day is now set. As you know, in conventional cooking, not everything cooks at the same speed or temperature. Well, the same applies to microwave cooking, except we don't talk about temperature, we talk about variable power. Your microwave oven has 6 easy to select variable power levels, which we select by pressing the micro power pad. Each time you press it, a different power level is shown in the display window, starting with high, then defrost, medium high, medium, medium low, and low. With your microwave oven, you will have received a Panasonic cookbook. It has a table that clearly shows you which of these power levels to choose for the food you're going to cook. The recipes in your cookbook will also indicate the correct power settings to use. Let's say, for instance, we're going to cook these stuffed tomatoes. We check the recipe and see quite clearly that we need to cook on high. So we simply press micro power once to give us the high setting. Once we have selected the correct power level, we need to set the cooking time. To enter the cooking time, we use the same number pads as we used to set our clock, where we can enter the time in minutes and seconds. Each time you press the number pads, the time increases by either 10 minutes, 1 minute, 10 seconds, 1 second, allowing a maximum cooking time of 99 minutes, 99 seconds. To clear the display, I simply press the stop reset pad at the bottom of the control panel. Again, your Panasonic cookbook will come in handy, with its easy-to-follow charts showing cooking times for all food types. Let's use our stuffed tomatoes again, for example. The recipe tells us to cook them for 2 to 3 minutes. We simply press the 1-minute pad twice, and then press start. The cooking time counts down in the display window, and the oven will then beep 5 times once the cooking time has elapsed. Should you need to stop the oven for any reason, you press the stop reset pad or simply open the oven door. You will notice that each recipe gives a minimum and a maximum cooking time. Always remember to start with the minimum time and add more time if necessary. You can always cook food a little longer, but there's not much you can do with overcooked food. Overcooking is in fact the most common mistake made in microwave cooking, especially by beginners. Your Panasonic Genius has wonderful time-saving features that do the thinking for you. The Auto Start facility allows you to preset the oven to start cooking at a set time, even if you're not at home. Suppose you have to go to the shops in the afternoon and you'd like these chicken wings to be cooked ready for supper. You could set the oven to start cooking at, say, 4:30 p.m. and arrive home to a delicious aroma of a finished dish ready and waiting. Here's all you have to do. First, select the power and time, which for this recipe is medium-high for 20 minutes. We then press Auto Start Clock, and on the number pads, set the time that we'd like the oven to start cooking. Let's select 4:30 p.m. and press Start. And don't forget to press Start immediately, otherwise your oven will not switch on and you'll arrive home to find your food hasn't even started cooking. The main automatic feature of your new oven is the one-touch cooking facility. In each of the 5 categories, the power levels are preset according to the type of food in each category. The oven has a humidity sensor which actually detects steam being emitted from the food and can automatically calculate the time required. That's why they call this model the Panasonic Genius. There are a few general rules, however, that you should bear in mind when using this feature. The most important one being to cover the food with a tight-fitting lid or with some plastic wrap. Let's say we're going to cook this haddock. We simply press Fish under one-touch cooking and Start. You will notice that initially the cooking time doesn't appear in the display window. Only the number 4, which is our fish category. Once the sensor registers the escaping steam, the remaining cooking time will appear. Only at this stage can you remove the lid to turn or stir the food. There are other features on the control panel, which I'll explain to you later when we get along to the recipes. You don't necessarily have to rush out and purchase new utensils and equipment for your microwave, as you probably have a number of these items already in your kitchen cupboards. Any heat-resistant glass will do, ceramics, even china can be used. You can heat food safely in glass jars as long as you first remove the lid. Certain plastics can be used, especially those that have been specifically designed for microwave use. But don't forget, always follow the manufacturer's instructions. Some utensils cannot be used in microwave cooking. Metal reflects microwaves, food doesn't get hot, and also it can damage your microwave oven. So therefore we won't be needing pots like these. China with a metallic rim must also not be used, as this can cause sparks in your microwave oven. However, small pieces of aluminium foil can be used to shield or cover parts of a chicken, for example, to prevent overcooking. Small foil containers, as long as they're no deeper than 3 centimeters, can be used. They must be filled with food, but they must not touch the sides of the oven when cooking. You'll find kitchen items such as these indispensable for microwave cooking. For example, greaseproof paper for covering bacon to prevent splattering. Paper towel to wrap around items such as potatoes to absorb excess moisture when cooking. Cooking bags and plastic wrap are also indispensable in microwave cooking. When I demonstrate the recipes a little later, you'll see just how effectively all these items can be used in microwave cooking. Does this look familiar to you? I'm sure most of us have had to try and defrost food in a hurry at some stage or another. Not with your new Panasonic microwave oven. Defrosting is quick and simple. Keeping a few basic rules to mind will ensure perfect defrosting results. First, you must always remove the packaging and place the meat, fish or poultry onto a rack or onto an upturned saucer in a dish. If you don't do this, the meat will sweat and start to cook in its own juices. Also, remember to turn the food regularly, about 2 or 3 times during defrosting, and separate the pieces as they defrost. Your Panasonic microwave oven provides 2 options for defrosting. Firstly, the defrost setting that can be programmed using the micro power pad. Press the micro power pad twice, and defrost appears in a display window. Now enter the amount of time you want to defrost your food for. Let's say 24 minutes. And press start. This defrosting cycle will divide the amount of time equally between the periods of defrosting and resting. This will ensure even thawing. If I wish to stop at any stage, I simply press the stop reset pad. If I press it again, it will clear the display. The second option for defrosting is the auto defrost facility, a super feature to have. All you have to do is enter the weight of the meat, fish or poultry you're going to defrost and press start. Let's say we're going to defrost this frozen chicken. It weighs 1.3 kilos. Under auto defrost, we press the 1 kilo pad once and the 0.1 kilo pad 3 times. The weight will then show in the display window. Once we've pressed start, the defrosting time will appear in the display window. The oven will beep twice during this time without stopping the defrosting cycle. This is just to remind you to turn, separate, rearrange or shield the food where necessary. Don't forget, your Panasonic cookbook has all the facts you might need on defrosting. For most families, mornings are just a mad rush trying to get the family off to work and school on time. And the last thing you want to have to do is cook breakfast over a hot stove. Microwave cooking is so quick and easy that eventually you'll find it a real pleasure to cook breakfast. Normally, to cook porridge is a messy job. Not with your new Panasonic microwave oven. Let me show you just how easy it is. We add our ingredients to a microwave-proof bowl. Give a little stir. We then cook for approximately 5 minutes on high. It's very important to stir food, such as porridge, when microwave cooking. This is because the microwaves cook from the outside towards the centre. And regular stirring will make sure that no lumps form. Also, it'll make sure that the food cooks nice and evenly. And don't worry if you open the oven door during the cooking process, as the power will automatically cut off when you press the door release catch. You can stir the porridge while it's still on the turntable, but I prefer to stir it when it's outside the oven so that I don't make a mess inside the microwave. Once the porridge is cooked, we let it stand for a few minutes. If you have a look at the control panel on your microwave oven, you will see that you have a feature called Timer Stand, which allows you to program the standing time. To do this, simply press Timer Stand and enter the amount of time the food needs to stand for. Our porridge, for example, needs to stand for 2 minutes. We then press Start. You often read about standing time. Let me explain exactly what this is. Microwaves cause the molecules in food to vibrate at incredibly high speeds, creating heat. This means that the food is actually still cooking after the selected cooking time has elapsed. So we let the food stand for a short time while the molecules slow down and the food finishes cooking. But rest assured, there are no microwaves left in the food. So, while our porridge is standing, let's prepare a few eggs. Eggs need special attention when being cooked in the microwave. We're going to bake them in grease ramekin dishes. And to prevent them from bursting, we're going to prick them with a sharp item such as a toothpick. We only do this to foodstuffs that have a skin or membrane, such as sausages and jacket potatoes. We then cover the dishes with small pieces of plastic wrap. We then pierce to allow the steam to escape and to prevent the plastic from sucking down onto the food once it's cooked. We then cook on medium, which we select on the micro power pad, for between 1 and 1.5 minutes, remembering to start with 1 minute and then adding more time if necessary. We will allow the eggs to stand for about 1 minute once they've cooked. We'll make some toast and voila! What a nourishing start to your day. One of my favourite lunches I cook in the microwave are jacket potatoes. You can serve them with a variety of ingredients and toppings: grated cheese, sour cream and chives, butter, cottage cheese, even baked beans can be used. And what a simple dish for the children to have when they come home from school. To prepare the potatoes, we simply prick them on both sides. We then wrap them in a paper kitchen towel. This absorbs excess moisture while they're cooking. If you're cooking several potatoes, arrange them in a circle, in a dish or on the turntable, so that they cook evenly. With the one-touch cooking feature on your microwave oven, all you have to do is press vegetables on the control panel. One touch automatically gives you the correct power setting for root vegetables, such as our potatoes. Then we simply press Start. The program automatically knows what power level to use, and also calculates the correct amount of cooking time from when that first burst of steam escapes. No wonder Panasonic call this model the Genius. As my filling, I've chosen to make an easy spinach and cheese sauce, which will transform a simple potato into a delicious meal. I take a bunch of clean spinach and place it into a cooking bag. Now we don't need to seal it. We'll microwave on high for about 3 minutes. When it's cooked, it'll look like this, retaining its lovely bright colour. I've microwaved the butter and onion for 2 minutes on high. And now I'll add the flour before microwaving for a further 20 seconds. We cook the mixture at this stage so that the flour particles swell and absorb the liquid. Then we gradually add the milk. And to ensure a smooth sauce, we stir occasionally during cooking. Once it's cooked, we add the chopped spinach, grated cheese, and the mustard. Make sure the ingredients are well incorporated into the sauce. The potato has now finished its standing time. So we'll cut it. Give it a little squeeze. And we'll pour the sauce over. Here's an idea that I've used with great success for dinner parties. Using the same spinach and cheese sauce recipe, we just add 2 beaten eggs to make these spinach pots. Of course, baked potatoes are very versatile. They make a great accompaniment with your main meal. They also make a super light supper for Sunday nights. And talking about supper, let's move on to some easy but imaginative supper dishes. Welcome to the second half of our demonstration of your new Panasonic microwave oven. I'm sure that by now you're curious to see just how much more can be achieved in your new oven. After a busy day working or running around, I'm sure all you really want is to be able to cook supper quickly. Your new Panasonic microwave oven and a simple nutritious stir fry will allow you to do just that. Stir fry is usually accompanied by rice, which doesn't cook any quicker in a microwave oven than on a hob, but it does save you electricity and you don't have to worry about those messy pots afterwards. We cook the rice in cold water. Put the rice and cold water into a casserole dish and cover with plastic wrap. Make sure it goes on nice and tight. Now press rice under one touch cooking and press start. And the rest is automatic. Once it's cooked, we'll allow it to stand covered for approximately 12 minutes. If you find that the rice isn't cooked to your liking, you could use the more or less facility next time you cook the rice. To do this, you would select the rice pad and then press more or less once, which would automatically increase the cooking time by approximately 10%. Likewise, if you prefer your food to be cooked a little less, press the more or less pad again and your rice will cook for approximately 10% less. For the stir fry itself, we'll be using this browning dish. It's essential for microwave cooking if you want to do things properly. Think of this as your microwave frying pan. It has a special base which absorbs microwaves, causing it to heat. It's the only time you put an empty dish into the microwave and turn the power on. And remember, always follow the manufacturer's instructions for preheating times. I've preheated this browning dish for 6 minutes, so now it's nice and hot. I add the oil and the chicken, the vegetables, Give a stir. We will now microwave on high for 4 to 5 minutes, stirring occasionally during cooking, to give us this delightful and nutritious supper. You find chicken is very versatile and can be prepared in many ways for the microwave. Why don't you try this chicken in orange sauce? If you want it to be browned, use the browning dish as I have to brown these chicken portions. But remember, never overcrowd the browning dish because it will cool down too quickly and not have enough heat to brown successfully. Rather do the browning in batches, reheating the dish for 2 to 3 minutes in between. I've heated the ingredients for the sauce in this jug on high for 2 minutes. You don't necessarily have to use orange juice. Any compatible fruit juice will do. And why not get adventurous and add a dash of your favourite liqueur to the sauce? Now that the sauce is in, I'll cover with a lid and place into the microwave. Place the browning dish onto the turntable and under one touch cooking, press chicken and then start. And the Genius feature will do all the calculating for you. When it comes to meat, many people say they don't like the taste of microwave meat. Well, I'm going to show you how to cook a roast that's every bit as good as if it were cooked conventionally, with the added bonus of saving time. We've selected a sirloin for our roast. It's best to make sure that the roast is as evenly shaped as possible and weighs at least 1.5 kilo, as smaller, uneven pieces won't cook as well. The meat must be of good quality and have an even distribution of fat. Rolls of meat work well, as they're more uniform in shape than, say, a leg. But don't forget that you can shield the thinner portions of an uneven piece of meat to ensure even cooking. And for our roast, we use a preheated browning dish, which not only browns the meat, but also seals in the juices. I've seasoned the roast with fresh garlic, seasoned pepper, and brushed with seed mustard. Browning is done on high for 2 to 4 minutes, occasionally turning the meat to make sure that it's nicely browned all over. Once it's browned, the remaining cooking time will be done on medium-high. Remember, refer to your Panasonic cookbook for cooking times. Turn the meat regularly, and don't forget the standing time. Now, who says a roast from your microwave oven can't look good and taste good too? Your microwave oven has a 3-stage memory, which we can use to program the entire cooking sequence for the roast, including the standing time. This is how we do it. We set the browning time of 2 minutes by pressing the 1-minute pad twice, which will automatically give us the high setting. Then select medium-high for the remaining cooking time of, say, 12 minutes. Then press the timer stand pad for our standing time of, say, a further 10 minutes, and then press start. The oven will beep to draw your attention at the end of each stage. So we could, for example, turn the meat after the first stage and cover the meat for its standing time after the second stage. Casseroles and stews also work well in the microwave. But bear in mind that these need long, slow cooking in order to soften the meat. I'm making a tomato brie. for which I've used stewing lamb, lightly dusted with flour, browned and sealed in our browning dish, after which I microwave on high for 3 minutes. I'll now add the chopped onions, which also include the minced garlic and ginger. We then microwave on high for a further 2 minutes. It will now look like this. I'll add the liquid which I've heated, and after this I'll add the herbs and spices. Remember, there must always be sufficient liquid to cover the meat and to prevent it from drying out. To keep the moisture in, we always cover food which is being stewed or boiled. I prefer to use the medium-low setting. This is so the stew will cook nice and slowly as it would in conventional cooking. This tomato brie will take approximately 2 hours to cook. So we set the timer for 90 minutes. And press start. During cooking, remember to stir the brie occasionally and top up the liquid content to make sure the meat's still covered during cooking. Any vegetables, such as our potatoes, should be added for a further 30 minutes cooking. And how's this for a tip? You'll find the flavour of your brie will be improved considerably if you cook it the day before, cool it down, and then reheat it in your microwave just before serving. To help you do this, your microwave has a sensor reheat function. This works on the same principle as one-touch cooking. The sensor detects the amount of steam being released by the food as it reheats. Then it automatically calculates the reheating time. All you do is put the covered dish into the microwave, press the sensor reheat pad, and then start. If you've never tasted vegetables cooked in the microwave, then you're in for a pleasant surprise. They are bright, tasty and nutritious. Very little water is needed for their cooking, so minerals and vitamins are not lost. Mealies are a fine example. You simply rinse them and put them into a dish. Remember, microwaves cook from the outside to the center, so halfway through cooking, you just move them so that they cook evenly. And don't forget to cover them before cooking. Your cookbook gives you the cooking times for different vegetables. Let's take our mealies as an example. One mealie would take about 3 minutes. But if I'm cooking 4 mealies, I add up the combined cooking times, which would be 12 minutes. I then deduct a third of this sum, in other words, 4 minutes, from the 12 to obtain the total cooking time of 8 minutes. You could, of course, use the one-touch cooking program to cook the mealies, and the Genius feature will calculate the total cooking time automatically. All you have to do is press the vegetable pad twice for vegetables other than root vegetables, and press start. The same applies if you want to cook a variety of vegetables at the same time. Remember though, some vegetables obviously take longer to cook than others. So what we do is we take the faster cooking vegetables out of the microwave and let the others cook for longer. For example, these carrots and green beans. The carrots will take longer to cook than the beans. And to save on the washing up, I've put the different vegetables into these plastic bags and onto a dish for the microwave. I've already cooked these vegetables to show you how to make an unusual salad. And to this, I'll be adding some sliced button mushrooms, some chopped spring onions, And for a little colour, some nice cherry tomatoes, some crunchy chopped celery, and you can make your own salad dressing, which I've done here, or you can add your own favourite bottle dressing. We just pour the dressing over the top and toss together well. And when the vegetables have cooled down, we put the salad into the fridge to chill. As a garnish, I'll use these almonds, which I've microwaved on high until nicely toasted. When toasting almonds in the microwave, always be sure to stir them frequently to prevent them from burning, because they do have a very high oil content. And the same applies to coconut, which browns beautifully in the microwave. Great for decorating the sides of cakes. Talking about cakes, let's move on to baking in your microwave. When it comes to baking, microwaves won't brown like a conventional oven does. This is because microwaves cook so very, very quick. Also, there's no physical heat inside a microwave oven to brown and form a crust. So, we compensate for this by using dark ingredients, such as dark spices, brown sugar, dates and cocoa, or use recipes that use icing for decoration. Some of the more popular recipes are carrot cake, and ginger loaf, and chocolate cake. Ring moulds are often used for microwave baking, as they produce a more even cooking. Using a shallow baking dish will also ensure even baking, which is why I'll be using one to bake a tipsy tart. I've microwaved the date mixture for 2 minutes on high, and I'm going to add a few drops of chocolate food colouring to create an appealing, dark rich colour. I allow the mixture to cool at this stage before adding the beaten eggs, because we don't want to end up with scrambled eggs in our tipsy tart now, do we? The dry ingredients are the flour, which has baking powder and salt added, and pecan nuts, which have been chopped. Make sure the mixture is well incorporated. Once they're fully incorporated, we pour into a greased dish, like so. We make sure the mixture is very well spread across the dish. It is nice and level. This will now be baked on medium-high for 12 to 14 minutes. And here it is, a completed tart. And all we need to add is the tipsy. To the sauce, we add a good dash of brandy or Van der Hum. Stir it in, and immediately pour over the tipsy tart, which has been pricked beforehand to ensure that the sauce seeps in. And there you have it, a favourite for dessert or a tea time treat, served with lashings of whipped cream. Well, our time is up, I'm afraid, so I'll have to say cheerio for now. Remember, these recipes are only a guide as to what is possible with your new Panasonic microwave oven. All the information you require is right there in your Panasonic cookbook. Just remember to follow the basics, and you'll find as you gain experience and your confidence grows, your new Panasonic microwave will be right there with you when you embark on a whole new cooking adventure. For more information on the Panasonic secret of success, call your nearest Panasonic branch.